name's Neil Hillborn. How the fuck are y'all doing tonight? Give it up one time for everybody who played tonight. They were fucking awesome. I'm so happy to be here. Alright, I'm gonna do some poems for you. Is that cool? The first time I saw her, everything in my head went quiet. All the tics, all the constantly refreshing images just disappeared. When you have obsessive compulsive disorder, you don't really get quiet moments. Even in bed, I'm thinking, the walk the yes, the wash man's yes, the walk the yes, the wash man's yes. And when I saw her, the only thing I could think about was the hairpin curve of her lips or the eyelash on her cheek. The eyelash on her cheek. The eyelash on her cheek. I knew I had to talk to her. I shot 6 times in 30 seconds. She said yes after the third one, but none of them felt right, so I had to keep going. On our first date, I spent more time organizing my meal by color than I did eating or talking to her. But she loved it. She loved that I had to kiss her goodbye 16 times, or 24 times if it was Wednesday. She loved that it took us forever to walk home because there are lots of cracks on our sidewalk. When we moved in together, she said she felt safe, like no one would ever rob us because I definitely locked the door 18 times. I'd always watch her mouth when she talked, when she talked, when she talked, when she talked, when she talked. When she said she loved me, her mouth would curl up at the edges. At night, she'd lay in bed and watch me turn all the lights off and on and 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 off. She'd close her eyes and imagine that days and nights were just passing in front of her. Some mornings, I'd start kissing her goodbye, but she'd just leave because I was making her late for work. I stopped at a crack in the sidewalk. She kept walking. When she said she loved me, her mouth was a straight line. She told me I was taking up too much of her time. Last week, she started sleeping at her mother's place. She told me she shouldn't make it so attached to her. This whole thing was a mistake, but how can it be a mistake that I don't have to wash my hands after I touch her? Love is not a mistake. It's killing me that she can run away from this, and I just can't. I can't go out and find someone new, because I always think of her. Usually, when I obsess over things, I see germs sneaking into my skin. I see myself crushed by an endless succession of cars, and she was the first beautiful thing I ever got stuck on. I want to wake up every morning thinking about the way she holds her steering wheel, how she turns shower knobs like she's opening a safe, how she blows out candles, 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 blows out. And now, I just think about who else is kissing her. I can't breathe because he only kisses her once. He doesn't care if it's perfect. I want her back so bad. I leave the door unlocked. I leave the lights on. Anyway, hey, what's up? My name's Neil Hillborn, and you might recognize that poem from the internet. I think when Upworthy posted it, they titled it, "Bearded Dude is Funny, Then Sad." Which incidentally is also the name of my autobiography. So hey, I'm really stoked to be here in Nebraska. I'm just kidding. I know I'm in Missouri. Fuck you. Alright, anyway, no, I mean seriously, yo, like, I love Iowa. Like, this is, I think, my 8th or 9th show here. I don't know, I have brain damage. More about that later. And, like, every show I've ever done in Iowa has been, like, so dope. Like, every place I've gone, people have been so nice to me and so welcoming, and I'm, like, super stoked to be here. However, I have to say that driving through your state is the fucking worst. It's like when you hit the fucking Minnesota border, like, your car stands still, and then you just, like, exist in purgatory for 5 hours to get to the other side. Like, just, like, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but something about fucking driving through Iowa makes me want to start. Anyway, I love it here. I'm really happy to be here. Hey. Alright, cool. So, I don't do this poem very much anymore, but what venue could be more appropriate for this? So, like, I grew up in Houston, Texas, and... Yo, what up? Where are you from?
Dallas.
Rad, we'll talk. Alright, cool. We'll also fight, because, you know, whatever. It's like, fuck Dallas and shit. Anyway. So I grew up in Houston going to punk shows, and it's nasty down there, I just want to say that. Never go to punk shows in Houston, you'll get hurt. Anyway, so like, and by the time no, fuck that story. Anyway, so this poem, I wrote this poem in 2010, after like my last favorite hardcore band broke up, right? Like this whole string from like 2007 to 2010 was like all the bands that like really meant a whole lot to me were all like, they all broke up, and then after that I was like, fuck, am I an adult now? So like Crime and Stereo broke up. That was like the last one, and then I sat down and I wrote this poem. So it's called Punk Rock John.
Yeah.
Fuck. Woo! Punk Rock John introduced himself at my first show. He said, "Kid, protect your teeth, do not lick the walls, and don't piss off the crusties. If you get cut, let it bleed." You'll be fine. I was 15 years old, thinking about unzipping my veins, and while most 15-year-olds would have done drugs or written a fucking poem, I went to shitty bars and basements and gave my best friends black eyes. For the first time in my life, I knew when I fell, someone was gonna pick me up. That first pit was not a quiet conversation about suicide. It was Punk Rock John telling me, "Hey, asshole! Don't kill yourself! Don't waste your unscarred knuckles!" My rage bloomed. I hate myself and I hate my parents. High school, the radio, record stores, magazines, corporations, yuppies, my parents, cops, rain, sunshine, beach days, phone books, bottled water, and tiny fucking cupcakes. God damn! That first day of punk didn't sound like Buddy Holly. Played back, double time, distorted, compressed into 4 chords. The first time I saw Punk Rock John, he was mid front flip stage dive, and he landed directly on my face. He picked me up, brushed me off, and threw me back into the pit. One time, I was getting ready to drop kick some metal kid when John got me in a headlock and said, "Quit fucking around, Neil. You don't know who this kid's friends are, and I ain't putting you out if they set you on fire."
Damn.
And then some out-of-town skin dropped a guillotine knife blade into John's skull. The blood was leaking from his ears. He was dead before he hit the ground. Punk Rock John was 6'4". He had hands the size of kick drums, and he smelled like a 20-year rain. He was Noah. He was our shepherd. John told us the Church of Punk Rock is always open. If you want to pray, just crank up the stereo till your ears bleed. If you want to pray, just grab your brothers and sing. Sing out of tune, sing the wrong words, just sing loud. When John died, I buried my leather jacket. I patched the holes in my jeans. I tried to pluck the cords like stitches from my chest, but y'all, John still speaks to me. When this world is so much larger than I am, when my chest is a vice, I put that needle on the record. I turn it up until I can't hear shit, and I tell myself, "Kid, you'll be fine." So I have asthma, and like I just figured I'd put all the shouty poems right at the front of the set so that I die in front of him. Another. This has nothing to do with the next poem, but I want to talk about it anyway because I don't give a fuck. When I talked about like all my favorite bands breaking up, when they broke up in 2009, my favorite hardcore band ever, Modern Life is War. I don't know if you like fucking heard of them or whatever, but they're from like Washington, Iowa. And they're like dope as fuck, and they're like my favorite. Anyway, so I'm in Iowa and I wanted to talk about it. So.
Medtown, Iowa.
Oh shit. I've never heard of meth. What is meth? I don't know. That sounds like fun. No. Dog, I'm from Texas. Don't fucking talk to me about meth. All right. So.
They say they do it big in Texas.
I don't know where to go with that. So I'm gonna do one more shouty poem, and also I promise this is gonna be the last poem that has like a turn in the middle of it. I just realized I'm looking at my set list now. I have a lot of brain damage. I've been hitting the head a whole bunch. So like, don't get concussions. Like, don't do it. Don't fucking get concussed. Like, don't. So the last major concussion I had, I was in the hospital. I woke up at like 3 a.m. in the hospital. Never a good start to a story. And I I asked the doctor, I was like, yo, doc, I freaking said, yo, doc. I was like, hey, how many concussions can you get before you start getting brain damage? And he's like, 2 or 3. I was like, this was number 7. So the point of that story is that if I look at my SAT list and I'm like, what? That's because I don't remember writing it. So often I would like argue with my past self. Yes, you're waving your hand. What's up? What can I do for you?
Oh, I was waiting.
Oh, dope. Oh, rad. Cool. What the fuck is happening? All right. Okay, just a little paranoid. Okay, all right. So I'll be like, yeah, pass Neil, that was good, smart. All right, cool, I'll do that poem. Or sometimes like, pass Neil, you're dumb. But in this case, pass Neil was smart, except that. So there's gonna be another left turn. There's like, don't worry about it. We'll get to it. All right, cool. So I moved to St. Paul, Minnesota, from Texas about 8 years ago. Thank you. It's a dope place. I love it. Except that it's, the Arctic. But anyway, whatever. I can survive now. So I moved there, and like I've stayed because there's this really incredible arts community, right? Like I have a bunch of really dope friends who are like writers and musicians and stuff, and like we all just get together and like do art together. How rad is that? And the problem is that when you get a bunch of artists in one place and get them all like fucking doing art together, they start doing crazy shit. So I noticed this thing was happening. Like I and a lot of my friends were doing it. I'm not gonna remain blameless in the situation. Like things would be going great for us, be really happy and be like, I'm not sad, so I don't have anything to write about. And so what we would do is we would torpedo our own lives so that we would be sad and have material. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. I wrote a poem about it. It's called Audiobook.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for purchasing the audiobook of How to Ruin Your Life for Fun and Profit, as read by the author, Neil Hillborn. So, you want to be unhappy. You probably think you need to be in pain to be an interesting person and artist, and you're right. People who care about you will tell you, you don't need to suffer to be important. Because remember, musicians are always most popular the day after they die. So, are you ready to matter to someone? Step 1, hate yourself. You are, presumably, a human being between the ages of alive and dead, so chances are you're already there. Congratulations. Step 2, fall in love. People will tell you this takes years. We have a secret method that will allow you to fall for anyone in under a week. The trick is, you must be completely unable to tell the difference between love and codependence. Step 3, fall in love with someone else at the same time. People will tell you this is impossible, given the love already inside you, but they don't know you. Your heart is limitless. Your heart is a well that goes all the way down. You can fit everyone in there. But remember to lie about it. Love can't exist with knowledge of other love. Step 4, at this point you may be doubting your decision and totally fuck up your life. So ask yourself, would you rather be happy or interesting? Would you rather be on the news or just watching it? Remember, happy people don't make history. Happy people make children, then die. Step 5, self-diagnose a mental disorder that makes you aloof and impossible to contact. If someone accuses you of being a bad friend, lover, or child, accuse them of being insensitive. Step 6, all of the elements are in place. Now, start sabotaging your own life. Remember, this isn't crazy, this is research, this is material, this is necessary for your personal growth. Step 7, you've been in love with 2 people for a while now. Tell them about each other! Whichever one stays is the winner! 8, call your boss a fascist checkmark fucker! Tell your friends fun lies about your other friends! Tell your mother she was the reason you tried to kill yourself! Remember, it's just not depression without total isolation. 9, do something to hurt yourself. It may be a bicycle accident. It may be credit card debt. It may be a razor, literal or not. Make yourself bleed. Step 10. Create something. Paint your scars on the side of a building. Write a poem and shout it at strangers. The misery circus is parading into town and you are holding the banner. Miles of people are following you. They are all wearing gray, a rainbow of gray. They're all watching as they kick themselves bloody on their own feet. You have scars and everyone wants to kiss them. This is stigmata pornography. This is inspiration. You are why they are still alive. You are mourning in a world of midnights. You are so brave. They want to be brave just like you. Look at what you have built. Everything you loved is gone. Tell yourself it was worth it. Yes, so that's like fucking crazy. Like if you're happy, like write about being happy. Duh. Anyway. All right. So this is my book. I love my book. It's my favorite in the whole world. It feels great, y'all. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm just up here touching this thing. That's weird. All right. Anyway, it's called Remembered Days, and I worked on it forever. I worked on it for like a year and I hated it after it was done. I was like, this is the worst fucking book. And then I spent all summer not looking at it, and then I picked it up again and I was like, oh, good job, Neil. All right, good book, cool. So I'll be selling this along with the poster after the show. I'll talk more about that in a minute. So I hate a lot of places. A lot of places really suck. At some point I'm going to talk about how much I hate New Jersey. Yeah, we'll get there. No, I'm going to do it now. So, New Jersey, half of my fucking job is just driving up and down the New Jersey Turnpike. And it's the worst. That state, if you're from New Jersey, I'm not fucking sorry, your state's a fucking armpit. Like, it's just... like, it's just... So, you know, okay, and like, a lot of my favorite bands are from New Jersey. Like, I don't know if you've heard of bands like fucking the Gaslight Anthem, or like Untitled, or like Bruce Springsteen, or Save the Day, or like Streetlight Manifesto. Like, a lot of dope ass bands are from New Jersey, and I think it's because New Jersey sucks so much that they have to write songs about us so we can get the fuck out of New Jersey. Anyway, so another place that I hate is this town called Rockford, Illinois. So, and like, you know what, like, Rockford's fine, it's just boring, but I tried to like date somebody there and then I fucked it up, so I have an irrational hatred toward it. And this poem is kind of about Rockford, mostly about how I suck. It's called Ballad of the Bruised Lung. Many things happen in your life that shouldn't. The black spot grew into cancer. The subcompact that just could not wait to meet you. Maybe things do happen for a reason, but that reason is stupid. Maybe your brother fell out of a window only because he's an asshole. Seriously, I fucking hated him. He's the kind of guy who like wear boat shoes and talk about like his most recent trip to Nepal, like a fucking idiot. All right, back to the poem. All right. I love you, but I can't keep letting you show up where I am. Remind me of what I said to you all those times I was drunk that one time. Most of them were just hurtful nonsense, but I am proud of, you are like a comet! Every so often you come around to fuck up my shit! I really said that. I thought it was funny. Anyway, I'm not sorry. All right. In a perfect world, all the towns in Illinois would be named Blood, so I could no longer pick out yours on a map. When you're dumb enough for long enough, you're gonna meet someone too smart to love you, and they're gonna love you anyway, and it's gonna go so poorly. It must be odd for our mutual friends who like me more, but think you were right. To say I hate you would imply a world in which I kissed more than your stomach. Look, we've established that I'm a jerk, so let me say this. I'm a flat tire, and you are a pothole full of lug nuts. I'm a pile of bricks and you are holding a sledgehammer, which is to say, I would not exist without you. Sorry, I didn't mean to like throw my book. Like, I didn't give a shit about it. I love that book. Anyway,
it's very dramatic.
Cool. Cool drop. That poem is alternately titled Never Dig Me. Cool. Alright. Sure, pass, Neil. Good job. So, this is my chapbook. It's called Clatter. I don't have any copies. You can't have it. I'm just kidding. It's on buttonpoetry.com as is my other book. But we're gonna stop making copies of it soon. I don't know why. Sam just said we were. So that's what's up. But on the front is an X-ray of my separated shoulder that got separated in a bicycle accident. So less of an accident, more of a bicycle intention. I got mugged. Some kids threw a broom handle through my front wheel, and I fucking went over the handlebars and broke my helmet. P.S. If you ride a bike, wear a fucking helmet. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? No, I mean seriously, I'd be dead twice. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, on the back is a picture of me immediately after having that X-ray taken, and I'm in a hospital gown, and I'm smiling because I'm clearly on drugs. Fucking smile in a hospital, but anyway, this poem has nothing to do with that. It's the title piece. It's called Clatter. It's impossible to imagine a color you have not seen. I can't call my mother because she makes me panic. When I say I'm crying, what I really mean is that I want to cry but can't. Instead of dying, the jellyfish simply ceases to move. Glass moves like any other liquid, but slower. Sex is another way of communicating with your body, like self-harm or sign language. I complete 5 crosswords a day because it stops the panic. Trucks are downshifting on Main Street. Most of what I do is stop the panic. I never cry at things outside my head because they all seem so far away. Hair is partially composed of cyanide. Napalm is just gasoline and plastic. I am just carbon and bad timing. If I were someone else, I think I'd still be mentally ill. It's impossible to imagine a color you haven't seen. Sweet. I'm not gonna do the rest of the poems I have there because they're all huge bummers. I'm gonna be more of a bummer later. P.S. This is part 2 of the Endless Bummer Tour. My buddy Mark and I, Mark's guy in the back, he's gonna be selling merch later. You should say hi to him and compliment him on being dope. So like he and I, we this past fall we like drove to Texas. Never drive to Texas. And we called it the Endless Bummer Tour. So this is Endless Bummer part 2. So cool. All right. So I was recently, I'm gonna get real filthy, is that cool? I'm gonna say some like really horrendous shit. Okay, great. So I was recently conscripted to compete in an erotic poetry tournament, which is a real thing that you can get money for. So at the Minneapolis Poetry Slam, every Valentine's Day we have this like 3-day erotic tournament where like the people with the best poems about fucking win money. So like the organizer, yeah, it's some shit. If next Valentine's Day you find yourself wanting to watch a lot of people talking about like dicks, you should go to Minneapolis. It's Kieran's Irish Pub. It's the whole weekend. You should buy tickets in advance. It's a great fucking time. Anyway, so I was conscripted to compete in it, and Allison was like, "Yo, do you want to write some new poems for this?" I was like, "Yeah." So I wrote this poem. It's called "Pickup Lines I Used to Get My Girlfriend, Who Is Definitely Real." Hey, you look like the kind of girl who likes to be severely disappointed in the bedroom. Hey! Do you like dragons? Because that would be a shared interest we could discuss! Girl, I want to treat you like a snowstorm. I want to give you 6 to 8 inches and make it inconvenient to get around in the morning. Hey yo, girl! Are those space pants? Because your ass is theoretically infinite and might contain extraterrestrials. Who knows? I'm not a scientist. Hey, am I in heaven? You want to fuck? Hey, if you were an ice cream flavor, you'd something really nasty like pistachio. I forgot what we were talking about. Girl, I heard you were looking for a stud. I got the S, T, and D. All I need is you. Damn, girl! Are you my father? Because you look like you're about to leave unexpectedly and never speak to me again. Yo, it's a joke. You can laugh. Like, it's real. Like, that happened. It's a joke. Hey. You want to hear something that always makes women laugh at me? I love you. Oh. Girl, are your pants a marauder's map? Because I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. Roses are red, true love is rare, booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Hey, I think you dropped something. It's your standards. I feel. That poem is also entitled "Never Date Me Part 2." So like that, when I was writing that, I'm like, so like everything that I just read is like 1 page of just like sentences individually. When I fucking wrote it, it was like 4 pages. I just like spent like a couple days in my apartment just like giggling, writing shit. It was maybe the most fun I've ever had writing a poem. I was like, I'm getting paid to do this. Cool. I'm gonna read another poem about doing it. Because I don't give a fuck. Cool.
Oh, but you did when you wrote the poem.
That's fine. I like that we did that. Let me see. Oh no, this is the wrong version. Fuck it, I'll do it anyway. So this poem. All right, cool. I'm just gonna do it. So this poem, if you're offended by things like vaginas, get the fuck out. Like, what are you doing at a punk show? Cool. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Dear Creationists! While I would like to believe that humans are the pinnacle of all God's creatures, I can, in good conscience, not. For instance, may I present to you the blue whale. The blue whale's penis is over 8 feet long. Its testicles weigh 100 pounds. It ejaculates 35 pints of semen at a time. Imagine 35 beers. Now, instead of a delicious, refreshing beverage, imagine that those beers are whale jizz. Today, in the presentation of my paper, Why Human Sex is Totally Stupid Buckets, I will attempt to expose, humans for what they truly are. Fucking lame. My first question, creationists, if we're so special, why is our sex so boring? Pig orgasms last for 30 minutes. When I orgasm, it only lasts for 5 minutes. If I'm on drugs and also lying. Barnacle penises are 50 times as long as their bodies, and since barnacles are stationary, mating season is just a symphony of humongous dongs slapping around the colony until they find a mate. And since barnacles are hermaphrodites, if they can't find a mate, they will literally fuck themselves. I realize now that I have, until this point, only made dick jokes. Allow me to rectify that. Science, like fucking everything else, is generally dominated by dudes, and there is therefore much more penis than vagina-based research. As such, allow me to present to you, my dear creationists, animal facts against the patriarchy. 1. You may know that female praying mantises decapitate and eat their mates immediately after sexing them, but you might not know that because of this, among praying mantises, there's no such thing as war, poverty, or hatred, discrimination, or loneliness, or reruns, or lines that are more than 2 hours long. You really mean ex-girlfriends, Becky! But Neil, I can hear you saying, stupidly, that's just because they're insects. And yes, you're right, but you're wrong. 2, male seahorses carry the babies. Male seahorses are rad. 3, ostriches are the only birds that have clitorises, which doesn't make sense because birds don't have fingers. Speaking of clitorises, 4, female hyena develop protruding vulvae and clitori, not a word, that are larger than the male penises. To mate, they put the jit in the lady dick. If you've never heard of sounding, that's basically what it is. I've saved you an awful discovery on the internet. You're welcome. In conclusion, dear creationists, I've clearly just been using you because I needed an easy structure for this poem. But regardless, if we're supposed to be so fucking special, why does us having sex look and sound like 2 hams slapping together in a hurricane? If God loves America so much, I don't know what you believe, but I assume that's it, then why are our genitals not all rocket ships? Think about it. We can all be fucking in space. It's the American way. Sometimes I do that at college shows, and I like look at the organizer and I'm like, am I not getting paid? All right, cool, great. Cool.
Do it in high school.
Okay. Dope. Yeah, that's what's up. All right. So like I said, I'm from Texas. Houston is a terrible swamp that you'd never go to. I'm not joking, don't go. It's like fucking, it's massive and the traffic is like the worst. And it's crazy hot and the mosquitoes are so big, they don't want your blood, they want your wallet, right? Like, it's a fucked up place. Like, it's really a problem. So I like moved from there to Minnesota. And all my family's from like Texas or California, right? So they were like, oh, we'll get you a jacket, you're gonna be fine. So, this was my first winter, right? And it was like, it was December and it was the first day it was like 5 degrees. So I took a shower and I walked outside with my hair wet. And I had emo bangs because I was 18. And what was that not funny? Oh. Sorry, I'm
Look around you.
Oh, fuck, I gotta go. And so my hair like froze to my forehead, right? And I went to brush it off, and a piece just fucking broke off, like a chunk of hair, like that long, just like broke off. And so it's just laying on the ground. I just like stared at it for a while. I was like late to class, and people were like walking by me. So I called my mom, and I was just like, "Mom, you sent me here to die, Mom!" And she just hung up on me anyway. So it was a couple weeks after that. Some friends of mine decided it'd be really funny to take me ice skating, right? Like I'd never been ice skating. Fucking Houston is where ice goes to die, and like. So like I'm just like toddling around these ice skates, like I'm gonna lose all my fingers. And they were like little kids, they were like 7 years old maybe, and they were all just like wearing hockey jerseys and like whipping around this ice skating rink and like being cooler than everybody else and having way too much fun. And I was really mad at them, so I wrote them a poem. It's called Unsolicited Advice to Minnesota Children. Listen here, you little shits. You are growing up in one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Everything here is all decked out elk in the imperial majesty of winter, and you, ingrate children of the snow, spend all your time in classes learning about things that will teach you nothing about ice skating on the bones of your enemies, or lighting moose on fire, or felling fir trees the beaver way, or how to make friends in a blizzard, which is with a shovel. What I'm saying is, it's beautiful as a mushroom cloud out there. And by the time your grandchildren can enjoy it, it's all going to be a tepid ocean anyway. So whatever you do, put some of it inside your heads before it's gone. It's all yours, you little bastards. It's all yours. Cool, this is the part of the show where the set slowly becomes a huge bummer, so get ready. All right.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah, feelings. Woo! Oh God. So I've never read this poem in front of people, and I love it, but it's never seemed right. But it feels right now. So this last fall, I don't fucking remember. I have brain damage. I did a show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in Tulsa they've got a museum dedicated to Woody Guthrie. And in my opinion, Woody Guthrie is one of the most punk rock motherfuckers to ever live. So I wrote this poem. It's called "This Machine Kills Fascists."
Yes, yes.
The irony of the Woody Guthrie Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is that it's financed by oil money. That's for real. That's real shit. It's financed by fracking money. It's like this beautiful, gorgeous museum to Woody Guthrie, and it's all oil barons. Anyway, it's nuts, man.
Yeah. Fuck fracking, dude.
Yo, seriously? So the Kaiser family helped build things like the Hoover Dam. The Kaiser family are probably made of gold. There's a Woody Guthrie music bar. The bathrooms are immaculate and modern. Nothing is covered in dust. Everyone in all the videos speaks with no accent, except for Steve Earle, whose first word was probably y'all. Woody was, you see, not a great singer, painter, or even guitarist, but Woody did not give a shit. Woody drew cartoons despite having no idea how to draw. To call Woody Guthrie a hero is true, despite the fact that a hero is supposed to have muscles and a destination in mind. If Woody were alive today, he'd be a crust punk. He'd be both amazed and thankful that people still ride the rails and that there are still boxcars to ride in. He would have a pit bull named Pete Seeger. Woody would take one look at this museum and decide he needs to sleep on the floor. He'd write some new songs on the walls. He'd discover spray paint and spray on all of his cans. This machine kills fascists.
Fuck yeah.
Seriously, he's dope. He's my shit, alright? If you ever find yourself in Tulsa, go to the museum and steal something from it. That was a joke?
When I get arrested for that, can I tell them it was your fault? Or?
Yeah, that won't do anything for you, but go ahead and tell them. So because I'm obviously a hipster douchebag, I ride my bike everywhere.
Yeah!
Like those two things aren't connected, but like, correlated. Yeah, fuck it, let's do this. You bike slower when you're inebriated. You call this the drunk gear, as though it were funny. God damn it. You have not gotten in accidents because as of yet you only drink at night, but once it was November and it began to snow. First you pretended you were in space. Then you biked by your ex-girlfriend's house because why not be less happy? Then you thought for a while about how depression is a lot like biking in snow because everything is slow and flat and it's so hard to move, and you were thinking so hard that you ran into a parked car. You spent a while pretending to be a speed bump, maybe hoping a little you would be a speed bump outside forever, but you weren't, so you weren't, and now here you are again, drunk and biking home like it doesn't matter if you die. Sweet. I'm just going to say this before I get into the huge bummer part of my set. So today, my buddy Mark and I went to the spot. I don't know if you've been there. It's called Taco Apocalypse. It ruined my whole life. So because I can't eat it every day, I got a bulgogi taco with fucking kimchi on it, and I was just sitting there. I was like, well, all right, we can go home. Like, this is everything I needed to do today. Anyway, dope. I just wanted to say that. Okay, sweet. Other things that we did today, so we were walking around, we were like, let's go to the Capitol building. And then Mark and I walked in, we were like, well, we have like 20 minutes, let's go in. And then there are metal detectors, and we're both like, we both have knives in our pockets, we have to leave. Anyway, so that's how I didn't go into the Capitol building. All right. All right, cool. I'm gonna stop being funny for a minute. This poem, I wrote this poem recently, but it had been brewing for like a really long time, right? Like people always talk about like writing as therapy, and it sounds like super corny, but you know, it's true. So yeah. So I grew up, like I said, I grew up in Houston. I was like a Southern dude, right? And like because I was like Southern and in the punk scene, like all my friends were dudes. I had no female friends because like, of course. A lot of us were experiencing like mental health issues, right? And we felt completely incapable of like talking to each other about it, talking to anybody about it, you know? Like, I was fortunate enough to have parents who knew our family had a history of mental illness and who like were watching for the signs. Like as soon as I started exhibiting OCD symptoms, they were like, all right, cool, we're gonna get this kid a therapist. And like, I was so fortunate that they had that presence of mind. But I had a lot of friends who like, even if they could have talked about it, even if they could have like asked somebody for help, their families didn't have the time or money to get them the help they actually needed, you know? It took me forever to write this poem. Like, I'm 26 and it's been a long time since I was 17. But this poem's called Joey. Joey always told me, laughing as though it were actually a joke, that he wanted to kill himself, but it was never the right time. There were always groceries to be bought and little brothers to be tucked in at night. Don't worry, Joey isn't going to kill himself 20 more seconds into this poem. That's not the kind of story I'm telling here. Joey got a promotion, and now he can afford antidepressants. Joey is Joe now. Joe is a cold engine in which none of the parts complain. Joe is a brick someone made out of fossils. If you removed money from the equation, Joey would have been painting elk on cave walls. People would have fed him and kept him away from high places because, god damn, look at those elk. I think the genes for being an artist and mentally ill aren't just related. They're the same gene, but try telling that to a bill collector. We were 17 and I drove us all to punk shows in a station wagon older than any of us. We were 17 and I bought lunch for Joey more often than I didn't. We were 17 and the one time Joey tried to talk to me about being depressed when someone else was around, I told him to shut the hell up and asked if he needed to change his tampon. You know, that moment when the cartoon realizes he's taken 3 steps off the cliff and he takes a long look at the audience like we're holding the last moving box in a half-empty house. Joey looked like that without the puff of smoke. He just played video games for a half hour and then went home. Once, I caught Joey in my dad's office staring at the safe where he knew we kept the guns. Once, Joey molded his car into the shape of a tree trunk and refused to give a reason why. I once caught Joey in biology class, staring at his scalpel like he wanted to be the frog, splayed out, wide open, so honest. There's one difference between me and Joey. When we got arrested, bail money was waiting for me at the station. When I was hungry, I ate. When I wanted to open myself up and see if there really were bees rattling around in there, my parents got me a therapist. I can pinpoint the session that brought me back to the world. That session cost $75. $75 is 2 weeks of groceries. It's a month of bus fare. It's not even a school year's worth of new shoes. It took weeks of $75 to get to the one that saved my life. We both had parents that believed us when we said we weren't okay, but mine could afford to do something about it. I wonder how many kids like Joey wanted to die and were unlucky enough to actually pull it off. How many kids had people who cared about them, but also had to pay rent. I'm so lucky that right now I'm not describing Joey's funeral. I'm so lucky we all lived through who we were to become who we are. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I think it's gonna get easier, you know? Because you get, when you perform a poem all the time, you get like desensitized to it, and it just hasn't gotten easier at all. So like, I keep wanting to quit doing it, you know? And then somebody comes up to me after shows and they're always like, my brother's name is Joey, my high school boyfriend's name is Joey, my name is Joey, and I'm like, fuck, alright. Like, sometimes the universe has a way of reminding you to just shut up and do something that's important, you know? Cool. Alright, I didn't think I was gonna do this next poem, but I'm gonna do it.
Woo! Yeah.
This poem's relatively new. So I had a pet rat. His name was Henry, and I liked him very much. He died this past fall, and after like a month of just like sobbing uncontrollably, I sat down and wrote this poem. Yeah, this is for Henry. Henry was my pet rat, and he died last night in my hands. He was 3 years old, which is way longer than an albino rat is supposed to live. To be honest, he wasn't a very smart animal, but he was so sweet that now I wonder if intelligence has anything to do with living a good life. He'd been sick for a few months, and every 12 hours I had to apply antiseptic and lotion to both his back feet. By the end, that didn't really work anymore, so he would just drag his feet behind him in a way so cute and sad, I started calling him my little sea lion. When he died, it was somehow a surprise. You'd think that when your rat is older than dirt and has been sick for months, you'd be sort of prepared. After I laid out the towel and mixed the solution, I picked him up and noticed his breathing was so slow. I laid down with him on the towel we'd spent the last few months, where I think we finally really completely loved each other, not like humans do. Humans always want something from you, and he and I would just rather be together than apart, and I pulled him toward me, and he chittered in that way that always meant he was wind coming in after a rain. His head fell forward, and there was so much less light in the room. The lamp was so far away, like the light of a house to which there is no road. I know he was just a rat. So many just like him, all white, red eyes, die every day. Only one or two people in white coats are even there to see it. He was all in white. He was always there to see me when I would wake from a nightmare. So many nightmares, I'd turn on the light and there he was, holding on, a constant companion to a prisoner. The prison being the apartment, the world being inside his cage. Once I was crying in bed because of who knows why, and he sat beside my face and licked my tears away. I had a rat once, named Henry, named Buddy, named Mr. Big Mouse, named proof that something could need me and still love me, named please can I have some of your apple, or I know you're sad but I'm hungry, don't go, if you go I won't survive. A child reaches for her father, a couple buried in ash dies holding each other, a man and a woman sit in an office crying slightly and sign sheets of paper, sparrows fall out of the sky together. Someday I'm gonna have a child. She's gonna have eyes like mine and such small hands. Just like she'll need me alive then, she needs me alive now. I can't say goodbye before I've had a chance to say hello. I don't stare off bridges anymore. I don't count out little blue exit signs. And even today, with Henry buried under a tree somewhere so far away, it feels like someone else buried him using my body. Today, I came home and only wanted to sleep for 20 minutes instead of always. Something needed me once, and I know something will need me again one day. I'm gonna have a daughter. She's gonna sleep through the night sometimes. She's a light on a rock at the edge of a lonely sea. You see that light out there? That's where I'm headed. That's home. Thanks so much, y'all. Y'all are great. I love this. Okay.
Yeah!
Like seriously, you're such like an attentive and supportive audience, and like it makes this job so much easier. You have no fucking idea how much easier this is when I'm like, oh, they want to hear what I have to say. Oh my god. So like, I just wanted to thank you for like being so rad. I've got a couple more poems, and then we're gonna hang out. Cool. That's how I feel. So, all right, I'm gonna get all the self-promotion right out of the way. Is that cool? I'm just gonna do all that shit right now. So, in back, right there, I have a book and a poster for sale. Mark, you can buy them from Mark, my lovely merch person. The book is $15, and the poster is $10, and I give them both to you for $20 because I love you. And I accept both cash and credit cards because we live in the future. I can even take money off your phone if you do that shit. Whatever, we're all gonna be robots one day. I have an album, it's called Northbound. It's on iTunes and Bandcamp and Spotify and all that stuff. So you can like download me to your phone and like make me talk to you whenever you want. And let's see, what else? Yeah, you should like check out my videos on YouTube. Oh, you should like me on, fuck. You should follow me on like Twitter and Instagram. It's my thing is Neil Corn, like Neil I Corn, because I'm like fucking special. So if you've been like taking pictures or like videos tonight, please tag me in them. I would love to see them. That's everything. Awesome. Thanks for like letting me be shameless. Cool. Rad. I don't want to do that poem. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Shut up. All right. So. No. Alright, cool. So, this poem I wrote, this was originally part of like a 3-part poem that I wrote with the 2 dudes I toured with for years, Dylan Garrity and Hugh Wynn. You should check them out, they're brilliant artists. We wrote this 3-part piece that's like, that we like wrote, Dylan composed a piano piece to go behind it. It was beautiful, we closed all of our shows with it. And so this is my section from that poem. It has a title, but I hate it, so like, I'm pretending it's untitled, alright. I've been hearing that the world is ending. I've heard it so much these days that I can either completely ignore it or never leave my house again. That is, I actually left my house for things that don't directly enable me to keep my house. See, I've been thinking about driving nowhere. I've been thinking about becoming a box inside a locked room, inside a dark house, at the dark end of the street. I want to go away until I'm gone. It takes so much less energy to not exist than it does to exist and get burned. I've been burned so much, I'm not me anymore. I'm a stupid puppet version of me. I got strings that lead to nowhere. Nothing is pulling on me. I wish someone would drag my hand out of hiding and sign my name on the dotted line. There are days when I can't find the sun, even though it's right outside my goddamn window. When getting out of bed feels like the key in the doomsday machine. So, on those days, this is what I tell myself. Whatever you're feeling right now, there's a mathematical certainty someone else is feeling that exact thing. This is not to say you aren't special. This is to say, thank God you aren't special. I too have kissed no one goodnight. I've watched myself from tall places and hoped no one would catch me. I've ended relationships because suddenly I was also exposed, but isolation is not safety, it's death. If no one knows you're alive, you aren't. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, it does make a sound, but then that sound is gone. I'm not saying you'll find the meaning of life in other people. I'm saying other people are the life to which you provide the meaning. See, we're wrong when we say, I think, therefore I am. The more we say it, the more it sounds like, I think, therefore I will be. You can't think your way into a full table. You can't think and make walls and a roof appear around you. I have thought and thought myself in corners made of words and nightmares, and what has it gotten me but more thoughts? A currency that only buys more currency. So please, if you want to continue existing, do something. Learn to make clouds using only your breath. Build a house, even if every wall leans to the left. Love it anyway, just like a season, just like a child. Love how you hate yourself sometimes, because god damn, at least there's still something to hate. I know how easy it can be to think and keep thinking until you are the last person left on earth, until the entire world becomes no larger than the space between your bed and the light switch. But I hear the world's ending soon. When we go, and we're all gonna go, I will be part of it. Brad, thank you so much, y'all. I want to thank, personally, I want to thank Heather, your poet, who opened up the show. Heather, I want to thank Country Bumpers here, Underdog Story, and Display Case for being rad as fuck and being super hype and like such nice people. I would like to thank the Underground Rockshop for letting us hang out. And finally, I would like to thank Victoria for like emailing me and like putting this nice thing together. She emailed me and was like, "Yo, dog, like, you want to come to like do a punk show?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I was like, I live right next to Des Moines. I'll just do this. I'll fucking walk. I don't care. So I'm just super stoked to be here, and I want to do poems all night, but I also want to eat a burrito. So. Fuck, yes, everything in tortillas all the time. All right. Cool. So this is my last poem. So I don't know if it's obvious from like my set, but I'm like hella mentally ill, right? Like I'm like super duper crazy. I'm not mad about it. Well, sometimes I am, but anyway. I was diagnosed with OCD when I was 11. I started going to therapy like all the time. I know I just did a poem about not having time or access to therapy, but if you're going through a mental health issue and you do have the time and money to go to therapy, like, oh my god, do it. It's the thing that has helped me the most in my life. So anyway, that's just my PSA. So by the time I got to college, like, I had like all my tics really under control. Like, you really couldn't tell I had OCD unless I told you, which I wouldn't because it's none of your fucking business. Like, now people know because of the internet, but like, so I was about 21 and I started having these really intense mood swings, right? And I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I went and I talked to my old psychiatrist and she was like, dog, you have bipolar disorder. Like you're she didn't say dog, but you know. Like your dad's got it, your brother's got it, like you have a family history, you're bipolar. And I was like, well, shit. Because the only sort of narrative I had for bipolar was like, the crazy artist archetype, right? Like somebody who'd be like manic and way up and then like be really productive, get a whole bunch of work done, and then be depressed and kill themselves, you know what I mean? So like, I was really sure I was gonna be dead in about 6 months. It didn't fucking happen. Like there's so many ways to be neuroatypical, right? Like when I'm way up or way down, I often hallucinate. Most of the time it's like super dope. Like I feel no need to take hallucinogens ever because like it's just my life. But like, you know, some mornings I wake up and like it's really the worst and like all the walls are covered in spiders and I feel like I swear I saw that spine portal to hell at some point in my life, so like that's tripped me out. But anyway, so like there'd be for a couple years after that diagnosis, like there would be stretches of days where like I was freaking out so bad I like couldn't get out of bed or like fucking go to work or write a poem or like, you know, text my friends back or call my mom or anything. And I spent so long just kicking the shit out of myself for this thing that I really didn't have any control over. So the first day that I decided that I was going to forgive myself for this thing that wasn't in my own power and that I was going to love myself no matter what was going on in my head, like it didn't just get better because I think it's magically going to like fix your brain, you know, but it just took so much less energy to exist on a day-to-day basis and just be who I was. So, as corny as it sounds, that's kind of what this last poem's about. It's about forgiving yourself and loving yourself. It's also full of dumb jokes because I'm me. But so yeah, this is my last poem. It's called The Future. I hope you like it, and then when I'm done, I hope you come hang out. I'll be right there. I just want to shake your hand and take pictures and meet you, and I just want to thank you for coming. So yeah, that's what's up. All right, cool. The worst thing about being naked and then being hit by a car is that road rash is a problem for skin. Why was I naked in the middle of the road at noon? I'm glad you asked. Imaginary other half of this conversation, I have no idea. Some characteristics of bipolar disorder include dissociation, hallucinations, and fugue states, so sometimes I wake up in places I didn't go to sleep. So, there I am, nude, splayed out on the hood of a car like a slutty chicken, and I'm screaming about the government conspiracy to take away my feet. Not my real feet, just my brain feet. And I'm about 6 inches away from the concrete, and I realize, in slow motion, like the exact opposite of a rhinoceros attack, this is not how I imagined my life would turn out. When I was little, I broke both my ankles jumping off a roof because I was sure a cape would enable me to fly. My parents attributed this to my strong imagination. Last year, my therapist called it a delusion. I failed to see the difference. Also, I really can fly and see the future and make stupid people leave coffee shops with my mind. 43% of the time. Sometimes I see people as colors. The point is, here's a list of things that my brain has told me to do. Ow. Join a cult. Start a cult, become a cabinet maker, kill myself, so in essence become a cabinet maker, break into and then paint other people's houses, have sex with literally everyone who reminds me of my mother, fight people who are much fucking fightier than me, like the cops, so in essence kill myself. I think a lot about killing myself, not like a point on a map, but rather like a glowing exit sign to show it's never been quite bad enough to make me want to leave. See, when I'm up, I don't kill myself because holy shit, there is so much left to do. And when I'm down, I don't kill myself because then the sadness would be over. And the sadness is my old paint under the new. The sadness is the house fire or the broken shoulder. It's still be me without it, but I'd be so boring. They keep telling me seeing things that aren't technically there is called disturbed cognitive functioning. I call it having a superpower. Once, I pulled over on the freeway and jumped out of my old red Jeep because I saw it burst into flames 20 seconds before it actually burst into flames. I knew my girlfriend and I would be together because she turned bright pink the first time she saw me. I know tomorrow's gonna come because I've seen it. Sunrise is going to come. All you have to do is wake up. The future has been at war, but it's coming home so soon. The future is the map and the treasure. The future looks like a child in a cape. The future is just like gravity. Everyone is slowly drifting toward everyone else. We will all be part of each other one day. The future is a blue sky and a full tank of gas. I saw the future. I did. And in it, I was alive.